Hey, spring break, it's officially over. With kids all returning from vacations and other social gatherings, we want to make sure they won't be spreading germs with their classmates, or at least cut down on it, right? So joining me this morning to tell us how we can help back to school illnesses and curb those is City of Houston Chief Medical Officer Dr. David Pearce. Good morning.
Good morning, Amy.
Yeah, I feel like here we go again. I just uploaded my son's doctor's excuse from November when he had the flu. I'm a little behind, but talk to us a little bit about what are some of the common back to school illnesses that we generally see after big breaks.
Yeah, so after breaks, whether it be the winter break or spring break, there are some, bumps in the numbers that we see they're predominantly viral, and it's usually the common things. It's usually the cold viruses, what we call rhinoviruses. Also, influenza will bump up a little bit. That's not a big surprise. And of course, this year we may also see a little bit of a COVID bump again. Those three. RSV is out there. Now, currently in the Houston area, all of those our baseline is pretty low with those. But with kids going to spring break and depending how much big gatherings you got to with other kids, I wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw a little bit of a bump in those. But there's two other things I wanted to point out. To some degree, it depends on what you did for spring break, right? So if you stayed local or if you stayed in the United States, you just went to the usual theme parks and things like that, we've already talked about what you can get. If you went camping, one thing that parents need to watch out for are tick-borne illnesses. So if you want to go camping and you spend a lot of time in the woods, this is when people get tick bites. And then the tick-borne illnesses, of which there are several, they generally will have a fever, body aches, and a rash. And then if you traveled internationally outside of the United States, you also, unfortunately, now we can start worrying about measles again. And we talked about this a few weeks back. But measles is on the rise around the world. And as people travel, we're start seeing that with kids again.
Oh, wow. I mean, I know kids that's in their normal vaccination schedules, right? But would that prevent my child from getting measles if they're all up to date on their vaccinations, immunizations?
Yeah, so two things. One is measles is incredibly contagious. It's one of the most contagious viruses we deal with. But fortunately, the vaccine is really, really effective. Now, nothing in medicine is 100%, but the vaccine is really effective. The challenge that we're seeing is that we are so many more kids nowadays that are never getting vaccinated for measles, and they're bringing it back and spreading amongst other kids that aren't vaccinated. And so then there are also the kids who've got chronic illnesses, and the vaccines don't work so well for them, and now they're at risk as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, so those are a lot of different things that parents should be sort of on the lookout and monitoring symptoms. And it's hard to know because then we got warm. And so I know a lot of people were suffering from allergies the last couple of weeks. When should parents keep their kids home from school? Like, when do you know? Is there like a temperature or what should we watch out for?
Yeah, so, you as parents, your kids better than anybody else. And when your kid isn't feeling well, especially if you've been on, trips or whatever, they've probably caught something, which means that they can spread it. And let's face it, if you're a parent, especially, if both parents are working, it's tough to keep the kids home from school, but you really need to do it. It's what's best for the kids so that they can get over their illness. They need lots of rest. They need, lots of fluids. They just need to relax, let their body get rid of it. And also, you don't want to be spreading it to other kids, whether it be daycare or school. So it's tough when you got, depending on your home situation, it can be tough. But it's really what you need to do. When your kid is sick, and that's when you need to keep them home from school. There is no magical temperature. It's when your kid is kind of, pukey, as we call it, that's when they need to stay home.
Yeah, not to make light of it, but I find that when I do keep my kids home, they recover a lot quicker when I don't let them on screens. It's like, this wasn't as fun as we thought it was going to be. No. Is there a way that parents can help boost their kids' immune system? I mean, what are some things that we can do?
Yeah, there are, and they're not complicated. So one of them is make sure that your kids get the rest that they're supposed to get. And again, sometimes getting your kid to go to bed at night early or even on time can be a challenge, but they really do need their rest. But they also need to exercise. And you just mentioned it. We live in a society today now where kids are spending a lot of time on screen. Well, that's not running around in the backyard or at the playground. That is really important for kids to get out and exercise a lot. It's really important for their immune system. And the other thing is if they get some sunlight, that helps your body produce vitamin D, which is important in your immune system. And of course, the other thing is a good, healthy diet, right? And let's face it, in Houston, there remain food deserts where it's difficult for parents to get good, healthy vegetables and fresh fruit for their kids. But those foods are really, really important for your body to be able to get all the antioxidants, the vitamins, the B vitamins, potassium, magnesium. These are really important for your immune system. The best place to get them is from a healthy diet. It includes fresh vegetables and fresh fruit.
Yeah, really important to remember those things. And I was just thinking last week, because I take a vitamin B, C, and D every morning, and I started thinking like, well, my son's now 13. Like, at what age are those at all appropriate for kids? And should we, or are they helpful?
Yeah, so they are. It would be ideal if your child got those vitamins from their diet, because the only thing that your vitamin pill won't give you is the fibers that you also get in the vegetables in particular, which are helpful with your GI health, your intestinal health. So if you're in a food desert, you may want to consider some of the children vitamins, but please, I encourage parents, don't, we live in a society where for every ailment there's a pill you take and then you don't worry about it. And it's so much more complicated than that for kids. So if you need to, I would talk with your doctor. If your doctor thinks that, a vitamin pill is good for your child, then so be it. But really, that shouldn't be your go-to. That needs to be not only plan B, that needs to be like plan C, D, or E.
Okay.
You really need to get healthy, time outside, exercise, lots of sleep, fruits, vegetables, well-rounded diet. That's the way to go. That's what you should be striving for.
All right, Dr. Peirce, always a lot of great information. Wash your hands, wash your hands. We appreciate you coming on this morning. Thanks so much.